Hi, I'm Allan,
And I'm Russell,
and welcome to Popculture Pontification.
the show where we talk about games and movies, and mostly games this week.
Mostly games this week?
Yeah, I think so.
You got a lot of... It's going to be game heavy.
Game bias.
Game bias.
Pro game bias.
Pro game bias. Well, next week is going to be extremely game bias, because I'm going to be talking about one thing, and pretty much one thing only, and that's going to be Fallout 4. Because it's coming out next Tuesday,
Right.
and we record this on Thursday.
Yes. Well,
So-
Wednesday next week.
Well, is it Wednesday next week?
Yeah.
Okay. Well...
But the listeners don't need to.
Oh, again,
behind the
you're
curtain.
pulling back the curtain,
Ah.
Russell. No, it was you this time who did it, not me.
It was.
Well, why don't you start us off? What do you want to talk about this week?
Well, this week I got a new toy, which is a new phone.
Yes, because your old phone was from about 15 years ago. It was a flip phone.
This is untrue. It was
It might as well have been.
couple of years old, which is like 15 years in phone years.
Phone years.
It was an
antiquated.
iPhone, and I've switched to Android.
At whose great advice was that?
I am a
handsome devil.
strong-willed and independent individual who is subject to the whim of no other.
And at no point did you come to me and go, "Oh, Alan, what's so
Oh,
good about
a great one."
Androids? Maybe, tell me your Android secrets."
Yeah. I got a Sony phone,
You might as well just say the name of it at this point and give him a free plug.
a Sony Xperia Z5.
Yes, whereas I have a Xperia Z3.
Yes.
So, yes, there is no Z4 for no particular reason.
So at the annual Xperia Z conference, I'll be sitting in the VIP seats,
Yep.
and you'll be down with the plebs.
Are we at back row behind a pillar?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Anyway.
Yes, anyway, I bring that up not just to ramble about my new phone, but
Humble
because
brag. Yeah.
I have been playing a couple of games on it now that I have a larger screen, and
That is not cracked and...
it was not cracked.
Wasn't your phone cracked?
No.
I thought it was.
No,
I was just shit.
it had a great case. I was very good at protecting it.
All right, go on. Tell me about your no doubt modern and topical games you've been playing.
I don't really know when they were released.
There's some great level of research you put into this.
Yeah, well, I'm not. This is not the angle I'm going for.
Okay.
I'm saying I play these
This
games.
is not,
and
hey,
they
look
were
at
quite fun.
these cool new games that just came out on the Play Store. It's, hey, I just did a random search for things that might interest me.
No, I went on Reddit and said best Android game.
Okay.
And they pointed me in a few directions, including these ones. So the first game I've been playing is Marvel Puzzle Quest, which is a match
Bejeweled.
3 game.
Just a bejeweled clone.
Yeah, Candy Crush-esque thing. But I used to play Puzzle Quest on the DS, where it was like a full-priced game with no microtransactions. And you went around, it was like an RPG fantasy storyline, and then for the battles you played a match 3 game. And it was fun. And I sank many hours into it. And now there's a free-to-play Marvel-themed one.
Quotation marks free to play. Pay to win.
I haven't had to pay anything yet. I
Yeah.
haven't felt compelled to.
That's usually where these things go. It's like, oh, here's a remake of a game you really enjoyed, and guess
Yeah.
what? It's free.
Yeah.
And then like half a day later, they're like, but if you want to actually win, or not take 6 months to finish.
I'm sure it will eventually get to a stage where you have to put in your own money or a ridiculous amount of your own time to progress. But until then,
Well, because you played Candy Crush, yeah?
no.
No, you never did?
No.
It seems like something that would have sucked you in.
No.
No? Alright. Well, I never played it either. So,
I was above it.
there's a conversation thread that's just gone absolutely nowhere, so why don't you continue on?
And I resented their attempted litigation of the company that made the Banner Saga over the trademarked word saga. You can't trademark saga.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What happened?
The short version.
So Candy Crush came
The
out.
makers of Candy Crush Saga
Mhm.
attempted to sue the makers of the PC game The Banner Saga over the use of the word saga,
This
saying
is-
that they had sole rights to use the word saga in a game title.
Right. This really just reminds me of the time where people who own Elder Scrolls tried to sue Notch from Minecraft because he tried to
What?
create a game that had the word scrolls in it. And they were
Ah.
like, no. Scrolls are our thing.
Are they going to sue
Call
like
it
the
parchment.
finder of the Dead Sea Scrolls?
I don't know. Well, I'm sure sagas have been around for many years, Russell.
Well, yeah, of course they have.
I'm not agreeing with the people who own Elder Scrolls. I'm saying that that's very similar.
Yeah.
I'm trying to join in on the conversation, Russell. I'm trying to
What was your
empathise
first
with their plight here.
Yeah. Anyway, that is... I don't even know how we got into that. We'll come back to Candy Crush later, because there's been an item of news related to it.
Oh, is that your secret news item
Yeah.
that you've refused? Ah, and I just stumbled upon it.
You did.
I stumbled upon it like a genius.
Like an idiot detective.
or an idiot savant.
Anyway, yes, it has a nice Marvel coat of paint. You have your team of superheroes, and you match up different colored gems, and then, you know, your red gems power up Iron Man, and your...
Oh, is this like a legit Marvel thing?
Yeah.
What was the name of the game again?
Marvel Puzzle Quest.
I just thought it was Marvel as in, oh, it's marvelous. Not
No,
Marvel as in Marvel.
No, you get Spider-Man and Storm and Hawkeye and...
I just really envisaged that in completely the wrong way.
Yeah.
Alright, fair enough. Moving on.
And yeah, you power up your special attacks, and then there's all these like
Do you feel
animations and flashing lights and sound
Do you
effects.
feel like you're absorbing like more knowledge about Marvel comics through this?
No.
Do they like say the name of their attacks?
Well, yeah, when you select your special attack, it's like Repulsor Blast. Or
Uh-huh. Does Iron Man ever go Proton Cannon?
Not so far.
No.
Maybe later.
Proton Cannon. That's like one of his most powerful attacks.
Because you can level up your guys. And
No.
spend money to level up your guys if you want. And then they get special attacks and they get stronger. And
Seems like a real time sink.
yes, I think it could be. Yes, it's a little bit of fun. And you can play it in a 5-minute bit when you're sitting around before your podcast starts and still get some enjoyment out of it.
That's true.
The other game I've been playing is Monument Valley,
Mm-hmm.
which is a...
Does it have anything to do with Monuments Men? Are you in World
you mean
War
that movie
II?
with Bill Murray and whoever else?
Was Bill Murray in that movie? I don't think Bill
feel like
Murray
he
was in
was.
that movie.
Yeah.
You're really asking the wrong person. You're looking at me with the questions in your eyes. And
You
I
went
don't
to
know.
Monuments Men.
I did went to Monuments
You were
Men.
responsible
Wasn't
for
it?
this.
I know for a fact that the guy who did Wayne's World is in it. Who's the guy in Wayne's World?
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers is in it as a
No.
bit. He's in it. He's a bit. He's a minor character in it.
I watched this on the plane and I thought it was very boring. All
I love
remember
that movie.
is that Bill Murray and John Goodman were in it, and somebody
John
slept
Goodman
on
is-
a landmine.
John Goodman definitely in it because John Goodman's one of my favorite actors.
Is George Clooney in it?
George Clooney, that's the guy I'm thinking of. He's the main guy.
You thought George Clooney was in Wayne's World?
No. Mike Myers is in the Monuments Men as like a bit. He's a bit part. He's like a general who's like, you must go and infiltrate the Dubulaki. Unless I'm thinking of a different war movie.
Inglourious Bastards?
Am I thinking of Inglourious Bastards?
Because he was in that.
Where
was
he's
in
like
the
a
mission.
general. He's like, you must go and
Yeah, and
infiltrate
Winston
the
Churchill's
Nazis.
in the room.
Crap. No, you're right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right. No. Yeah. That's Mike Myers is not in the Monuments Men.
No, nor
George
is he
Clooney.
in Monument Valley, the game that I wanted
I
to
would
talk
love
about.
him to like voice a character in it though.
Well, he might later on.
Yeah.
So far, there's been no voice acting, but we shall see.
We just see all of a sudden George Clooney just pops up and is like,
Wayne's
Monuments.
World, Wayne's World.
You're really ascribing me confusing George Clooney and Mike Myers
Yeah.
here, and that never actually happened.
That's pop culture pun canon now.
Oh, that I think that Wayne's
That
Mike
George
Myers
Clooney
and
was
George
in
Clooney.
Wayne's World.
Maybe he was. Maybe
Maybe.
he was like an extra.
Yeah, like a side character.
Mm.
There's
Like,
a deleted scene.
who was the wife of Tom Cruise?
Katie Holmes?
Katie Holmes. Katie Holmes is in like a couple of Tom Cruise's movies as an extra.
Did you
'Cause
just call him Thomas Cruise?
No, in Thomas's whatever the fuck I said.
Yeah.
She's in like a couple of his movies,
Ah.
but she's just like in the background as an extra because she was on set, and they're like, all right, on you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Monument Valley
Monument Valley.
is a puzzle game.
Shocking.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the work of... what's his name? Is it MC Escher?
Yes, of
It
course.
kind of sounds like a rap name.
MC Escher, yeah, he
Yeah.
does crazy stairs.
Yeah, and it's a puzzle game based on navigating these levels that look like MC Escher drawings. And so there'll be a staircase that, like an impossible staircase, and then you can rotate parts of the level so that you can walk on bits of the level.
You're explaining this so well.
It's very hard without visual representation. That would be impossible to walk to if it was a real place.
Yeah.
Anyway, I encourage you to look it up. because it's very good.
Do you want to like perhaps describe a painting next, or like tell people what a rose looks like?
A photograph of a child's smile.
Yes, explain it via words.
Yes. No, I would not like.
You
to.
would not like to do that? That'll be for like Patreon subscribers. Is you describing the joy of a child's smile?
Yes, or the smell of a mother's tear,
or the delight of a rainbow.
Yes.
I really want to do that now. Just release like a special podcast that's like 10 minutes long, which is like, it's like a rainbow.
Yeah, it's got lots of colours.
There's some colours in it. It's very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Is that all the video mobile games you got to talk about?
Those are the games I've played so far.
All right.
I've only had the phone a couple of days.
Well, in actual games...
Whoa.
In real games.
Mobile games.
PC Master Race. I've been playing a couple of games this week.
Oh, yes.
Most notably Battleborn, which
the game you were bragging about having
FPS
access to.
MOBA, yes. Been playing that. For someone who doesn't really enjoy that style of game, it was actually pretty entertaining. It's very in line with Borderlands sort of humour, you know?
You shoot guys and things fall out of them?
Well, yes, that does happen, but more like the dialogue sort of style of humour. Like, you are... It's obviously very limited because it's a technical test, so that I couldn't get into the the single player. There's only one map for the multiplayer, and then there's like a sort of a campaign sort of little bit that you can go into with other people. But it was pretty entertaining. It was very fast paced, so it took me a couple of run throughs to actually understand what the plot was. Which is you're a bunch of people who are trying to stop like a rogue AI from taking over a planet.
Were you in this game? Was your character born for battle? Or
one could say that
born
he was
during a battle,
Well, I don't know their personal story. You know, maybe that'll be released in like the single player.
Yeah, maybe.
They'll be like, oh, and he was born for and during a battle.
The battle for which he was born was ongoing at the time of his birth.
It was a really long battle, which let him get trained up until he was an adult.
He had to learn to battle
on the born field he was on.
Yes.
No. I just chose like the generic guy with a big gun.
Classic.
Like soldier guy.
The Marcus Phoenix of the game?
Sort of, kind of, yeah. There was like a really huge guy with like a tiny head and a big machine gun.
Yeah.
Who was probably the big...
You felt a certain kinship for him.
Yeah. But I was just sort of like the sort of like full body armor sort of suit, running around with like a machine gun that shot grenades.
Oh, the like standard soldier.
Standard soldier guy. And like I could call in airstrikes on a target, but it was all on cooldown timers.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So you'll be running around and there's like an AI will pop up on your screen. It was like, oh, it seems you have come to destroy me. Oh, why don't you go fuck yourself? Stuff like that. And then like you fight a big spider robot at the end. And he was like, I am the Spider Lord. And it was like, no, your name is Greg. It was like, Spider Lord.
Greg Spider Lord.
Greg Spider Lord. And it has like, if you've ever played Borderlands, like the monster like shows up and goes like, dun, and it's like a big outline of spider, and it's like his text name pops up. It's like, oh, this is the bad guy, Greg. And that scratches out. It was like Spider Lord written underneath. Something like that. But other than that, it was pretty generic. The sort of multiplayer map was pretty generic. Just a bunch of little bots that are trying to get to a destination, but they're trying to get to like a grinder. Like a thing that destroys them, and the more you destroy, the more points you get, and then you win.
So there are AI enemies?
Oh, you could probably play it versus AI, but there's like little minions running around.
That's what I meant. Yeah. So there's players.
So it's 5v5 was the map I played, and then there's like periodically things we released.
So it is like LoL or Dota.
Yes.
Right.
But once you reach a certain amount of points of minions destroyed, like they start out the things that destroy them like right near the middle of the map.
Yeah.
But the more points you accrue, the further they have to go on the map, deeper into enemy territory and stuff like that. So it was alright. I'm not very good at that sort of thing, but I died a few times. Shut up. But I did alright. Yeah. Like everything I've played, I've won so far. So I don't know. That's
you can't be that bad.
More to be spoken about, like, you know, the people I play against or where I am. For people who like that sort of games, it'd probably be a pretty welcome distraction.
Yeah.
I couldn't play with all the heroes because half of them were locked off.
Wow, they even locked them off in the beta?
They showed them, and you, like, accrue, like, currency as you play. And after about 4 or 5 games, I had, like, 600 coins or whatever, which you use to buy whatever.
How many coins is a guy?
In this closed section where they didn't want people accessing them, they were like 999,999,999.
That's going to take a long time.
It's going to take a long time. But
or only $5.
Oh, yeah. But no, even the store was closed down. You couldn't buy coins.
Right.
But you could spend the coins to buy, like, booster packs, which give you abilities that you can load out. Then as you collect points while you're playing, you can activate them, and then it'll give you, like, increased shield or more health but less shield and all that sort of stuff.
Like Titanfall. You could...
Well, never played that, so I'll take your word for it.
Well, it's a multiplayer shooter, and at the start of the game, you can, like, choose your power-ups you're going to get during the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think this is much more variety-based, because you've got to create a loadout before you start the game.
Yeah.
And then there's only 3 of them. And then you can activate them as you play.
Right.
But, yeah.
Actually, while we're on the subject of Borderlands-y type things, I meant to ask you, have you played Tales of the Borderlands?
I played the first one.
Yeah.
But almost immediately after that, my computer crashed.
Right.
My video card died.
Yeah.
I haven't played any of the other Tales of, like,
the Telltale games.
The Telltale games, yeah. I don't know what they're called in the other versions, like the Walking Dead and Back to the Future, I think they did as well.
Well, The Walking Dead is just called The Walking Dead.
Okay. Well, whatever. The big people who do the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
I played the first one, and it was very funny, but it was just such a different sort of game than Borderlands.
Well, it's not shooting action.
It's not shooting action.
Walk around and talk to people.
It is go around and talk to people, and occasionally there'll be a quick time event.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, and I'm led to believe that I think 4 of them, the full 4 pieces, are out these days. I only played the first one.
Yeah, it is out, and I've heard it's really good.
I've heard it's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't got back into it.
Okay.
But I have the first one, and I played that. I also have been playing a game called Planet Base.
Planet Base.
Planet Base. Can you, like, using context clues and ignoring the information I told you about it earlier, could you figure out what this game is about?
Well, it kind of sounds like Space Base.
I don't know what that is, but alright.
It's another game.
Well, yes. Tell me about it, Russell. I don't know what it is.
And it also kind of sounds like Planet Side, so I'm going to assume that it is a mega multiplayer online role-playing game shooter
correct
set on a space station where you also have to manage the staff on the space station.
Right. Could not be more wrong. Alright. Basically, it is all about building a base on an inhospitable planet. Think
Mars.
What the first planet you go to is Mars.
Well, that seems like the planet we're most likely to colonize.
It's like in the not so distant future, you know.
Yeah.
And you basically go there, and you have a finite amount of resources that you brought with you to set up your initial base. At which point you start gathering resources from, like, the local area. Like, you go do mining to get metals and stuff like that.
So is it like SimCity kind of thing?
Sort of, kind of. It's a little more detailed than that. Like, you'll build a botany sort of dome, and then you go into there and you pick either plants that produce food or plants that you use to create, like, bioplastics and stuff like that. Like starchy stuff, like potatoes and wheat and stuff like that.
Can you create plastics out of...
In the game potatoes? You can. I don't know if you actually can.
Potato plastic experts, please write in.
Please,
educate us.
Popculturepon@gmail.com. Write in and let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you go and, like, you'll create a cafeteria where they can eat the food.
Okay.
But then you go in and you put, like, drinking fountains down and like a machine that will dispose food.
Right.
Once you put put food in it, and it will just give you food.
You put food in.
You put, like, the raw food in, and it'll make some meals.
An oven.
Sure. Sure, it's an oven.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not like
a space oven.
Sure, it's a space oven.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you put down tables, and the amount of tables you put down determines the amount of people that can eat at any given time. And it's not so bad because you got, like, 7 people.
Yeah.
And 2 robots.
Right.
One carries stuff around, another one builds stuff. But the more people you get, the more tables you need, because...
Are these people...
They're like little...
reproducing, or are they coming in
No, because basically you eventually build, like, a landing pad, at which point trader vehicles will come who wants to trade stuff with you,
Yeah.
or like civilians will come and start working at your base.
They know that the planet is inhospitable, right?
Well, I'm sure they're scientists. I'm sure it's the adventure
Right.
is needed. But then you have like you got medics and you have like biologists and engineers, and then just generic workers who just go into the mine and carry stuff around and stuff like that. And it's all very detailed. At one point, I had so much food it was ridiculous. And then a trader came, at which point I was like, I shall trade almost all of my food, because clearly I am producing a lot of food for these cool things. And like when the traders come, you can trade them for like genetically modified food,
Right.
which you then replace your normal food with, which obviously less effort put in, more food produced.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And that's like some of the food, like you'll plant tomatoes, which produce a lot of food but require a lot of maintenance.
Ah, okay.
So then you can plant like mushrooms,
Yeah.
who produce some food but require next to zero maintenance
Right.
and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's all about sort of finding a balance, and it goes into even more detail than that.
I see.
Like you can tell them what sort of priority certain people of certain technical skills have in regards to at your base. So you're like, I want medics. Give me all the medics you can have, and then they'll have a more higher likelihood of getting medics in.
Yeah.
Or you can just shut down the pad. And then you can like set sort of limits to like manufacturing limits. So it's like only create 10 med kits and then no more. At which point they'll go on and do something else. And you can set like room priorities and stuff like that. Like at which point people will just work in there until they die if you don't pay attention to it. So like after I ran out of food, I was like, food production, highest of priorities, please.
Yeah.
At which point all the botanists are in there, and there's like
Making tacos.
everything's got like arrows above it and stuff like that, so this is a priority. At which point I didn't realize that the people in there were like working themselves to death in there. And then they were just like, Steve has died of starvation. I was like, you're standing right next to food, just eat the food. But it's very addictive.
I feel like in real life Steve would not be that disciplined, that he would just like eat one of the tomatoes.
Man, I know like the guy is telling me to make these tomatoes, but I guess I'll eat one.
I'm wondering, is there any education or social mobility in the game? If you come in as just a player,
Can you like...
can you train as a medic if that's like your dream?
I haven't come across that yet, but that would be a nice, like sort of a training, on-the-job sort of training would be nice.
Well, I did have one item of news.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to
You've teased us with this.
I have,
you teased us with it
Candy
earlier.
Crush related news.
Mm-hmm.
Activision Blizzard, one of the biggest game publishers
Never heard of
in the world. Really?
No. Of course I fucking heard of it. Kudos on you for believing me when I said that.
You were very convincing.
I'm a great actor.
Yeah. They have this week arranged to buy out King, the creators of Candy Crush Saga.
Right, yep.
For the minute sum of $5.9 billion US.
Really, at this point, if a company gets bought out and it's not in the billions, it just doesn't make news. Yeah, it's just like, okay, whatever. Oh, you bought Twitter for like 500 million? Oh, nobody gives a shit.
But for perspective, Disney bought LucasArts for $4 billion.
Four to 4.5, I think it was, yeah.
And they bought Marvel for a similar sum.
God, they really are becoming, like, in the dystopian future, it's just going to be Disney.
Oh, yeah, there's like
the universe.
mega conglomerates forming all over the place. But yeah, Candy Crush Saga and related similar mobile games, which most nerds probably don't really know anything about.
No, but like the Kim Kardashian game and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
which nobody really.
Like staggeringly popular.
It just makes gangbusters money, but it's utter garbage.
Yeah, but like Candy Crush Saga.
For those listening, Russell is actually just reading text right now. This is what he sounds like when he's reading text.
Yeah. Well, no, we're gonna have to edit this bit out. Aren't we?
No, we're not. I'm gonna leave this in. I'm the one who does the editing.
The company that makes Candy Crush Saga, King, in 2014 earned $1.3 billion.
And they got bought out for more than that.
Well, that's their yearly revenue.
Yeah, but isn't there usually some sort of like similarity? Like you earn $500,000, we'll only pay you $1 million. I don't know how.
Let's not get into the details of the finance.
Business chat.
Let's just marvel at the enormous figures involved here. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Activision is hoping to get out of this.
Candy Crush
Whether
FPS.
they just think it's going to be really popular, or if they want to, like...
It's already really popular, though.
Well, yeah, but if they think they're going to make their $6 billion back...
Well, no company of that size has ever gone, let's spend $6 billion on something. What are we going to do with it? I don't know, something.
Yeah, whatever. We just really need to spend it.
If we don't spend this by the end of the financial year, then we won't get it again next year.
No, I mean, are they going to get it back just out of Candy Crush ongoing revenues?
Eventually.
I don't know, because mobile games seem to have a limited shelf life.
Candy Crush has been around for like 5 years, though.
It's been around for a while. But I wonder if they're going to start,
exactly 5 years.
Start cranking out mobile games based on
Do you think,
Warcraft.
will they be
Call of
crushing
Duty
more candy?
Well, I don't know. Like, I've been playing this Marvel Puzzle Quest. It could be like Diablo Candy Crush. Diablo Crush Saga.
Would they really need to buy out the company to create like a clone?
Well, for $6 billion, you could create a pretty good clone.
Probably for less than $6 billion, you could create a pretty good clone. But yeah, there's clones of Candy Crush out there.
Yeah, but I guess they've got 100 million subscribers to Candy Crush.
It is a hell of a market, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of market share to gain. Anyway, that was the big news story for me this week.
What do you think? What's your prediction? What do you think they're going to do?
I think we're going to see a lot of Activision properties on mobile platforms.
I don't know any of their... What are some of their properties? Do you know off the top of your head?
Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo.
Not any of those really relates to candy and the crushing of.
No, but neither does Marvel.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, they explode things, and that's basically all you do in those Bejeweled clones.
Well, yeah, but you could easily have like a Terran Siege Tank game where you like blow up little gems by matching them.
I really love the Siege Tanks.
Yeah.
Siege Tanks were my go-to. I always used to play as Terran.
Whenever you like plant them down, it's like
so
good. You're like, yeah, I dare you to come over here.
I'm gonna fuck everything up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Zerg horde.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, now we're fucked.
Yeah.
I always used to play as Terran when I used to play StarCraft, the original StarCraft.
Yeah, I like Terran as well.
They're a
I
nice
would just
balance.
play skirmishes against easy AI, and then I'd build up this incredible
and you'd
fleet
feel
of battle
really
cruisers.
good about yourself afterwards.
Yeah, and then
like,
my battle
so
cruisers
amazing.
would fly over and just destroy everything, and I'd think, I'm a genius.
Truly, why am I not a major league gamer?
Let's just build loads of battle cruisers. Why didn't you guys think of that?
But I never watched like the tournaments. But those guys are crazy.
Yeah, no, I couldn't follow StarCraft as an esport. It's too fast, and I don't understand what's going on.
As for like knowledge of popular culture, the Protoss really took it away.
Oh yeah?
Everybody knows like the Protoss things. You must construct additional pylons.
Oh yeah.
And my life for ire and stuff like that. None of the other ones really have that. Terran or Zerg never really have that.
Lines.
It's like
yeah, basically.
In other mega conglomerate related news, Disney has recently released
Our friendly family
company,
Disney
company, yep,
that owns
everything.
everything.
They have released like the next 20 movies that they're gonna produce.
Iron Man 17.
Yes, pretty much.
Coming in 2046.
I won't go through like the entire list, but do you think it's a good idea for them to do this sort of thing? Like, does it not like destroy the hype if you release what's happening in like 2020 and it's 2015?
Well,
how can you keep that level of hype going?
I don't think it's for people to get hyped about it.
Yeah.
I think it's so, Sony Pictures and all those other studios know, alright, Avengers 6 is coming out this weekend. We don't want to go up against them. We'll schedule on a different weekend.
I suppose so. They really only just release like the month and year in which it's coming out. But yeah, there's like another Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack, another Pirates of the Caribbean coming out.
Oh yeah.
Really thought they were done with that.
Yeah. It's been going steadily downhill.
The
first one was fantastic.
First one was all right. You not a fan?
No.
Of the rest of them?
No.
Obviously,
except Bill Nighy was great.
Bill
Nighy as Davy Jones.
As Bill Nye as... Oh, I thought you meant like Bill Nye the Science Guy. I was like...
Bill Nighy.
I don't remember Bill Nye the Science Guy being in Pirates of the Caribbean.
He was a squid face guy.
He was. No. He was good. The Australian bloke. Bill Nighy.
No. Bill Nighy's English. The Australian bloke is Jeffrey Rush.
Isn't if
As
Jeffrey
Captain
Rush?
Barbossa.
Yeah, he was
My
the best.
favourite character.
He was the best.
Yeah.
That's who I'm thinking of. Who the fuck is Bill Nighy then?
Don't know. He was in Love Actually.
No, like who was he in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Squidface guy.
Oh, was he Squidface guy?
Yeah, Davy
Oh,
Jones.
no wonder I didn't like recognize his face.
No.
And I'm pretty sure that's not his real voice.
I imagine it is.
Well, it's not like his normal voice.
Well, no, I'm sure he doesn't talk to his wife like that.
So I know no way of me guessing who that was.
No.
Obviously.
Anyway, what have Disney got in store for us?
Well, other than
Pirates
of the Caribbean, pretty much all of the Star Wars new trilogy is on this list.
Yeah.
Which is, God, that's gonna be half erect just thinking about it.
I've realised that it doesn't matter if the new Star Wars movies are any good or not. They are all going to make $1 billion each.
Yes, and no matter what they are,
Yeah.
people will both love them and despise them.
Yeah. I mean, my Star Wars obsessed work colleague is already booked 2
Is
tickets.
this like the extremely hot new chick that works with you that your girlfriend doesn't know about?
No, not that one. It's a male colleague.
Is he super hot?
Not to my
Like as
mind.
like an objective opinion, like if you were that way inclined, would you bang him?
I wouldn't.
Because you're far too good for him.
I think from my generalized understanding of male attractiveness, I don't think he would rate that high on the scale.
Would you objectively, would you as a theoretical homosexual man think you could do better? Be like, have you seen me? Of course I could do better than this.
I don't know if I could do better, but
Don't sell yourself short.
I wouldn't want to.
Fuck him?
Yeah.
Is that why you're edging around? You wouldn't want to fuck him?
I don't know if I could do better, but I would not want to not do better.
Would you fuck him, but would you not let him fuck you?
No.
So you wouldn't even you don't even have to look at him in that scenario. I really put you on the spot here, and I'm really glad I did it.
I can't. I'm just thinking about. Yeah.
You're just thinking about it.
Oh yeah, he's already booked for the midnight session and
it's crazy.
for the night after.
Oh, so if he hates it, he just gets to really stew in his own juices while he watches it.
And he says that if he likes it, he's going to be going like 3 more times after that in the following week.
I, in my life, have watched 2 movies more than once in the cinema.
Really?
Yeah.
What movies?
Are you surprised that I've watched them more than once, or that it's not?
No,
more
I've
than
watched a bunch of movies more than once.
I watched Avengers twice, the first Avengers movie, twice, and a long, long time ago, Spider-Man 2 was in the cinema.
Yeah.
And I was much fatter.
You were
and
paralysed. You could not move. And the second session came on.
No, we went and watched it, me and an old ex of mine, and these 2 guys just wouldn't shut up the entire time the movie was on, and I was far fatter and less confident than I am now, so I didn't say anything.
And they beat the fuck out of you.
I just didn't say anything, so I heard none of the movie.
Okay.
So I was like, I begged my girlfriend at the time. I was like, let's go watch it again. I didn't hear half of it. And Spider-Man, trust me, it's gonna be great. And so she relented, and we went and watched it a second time.
And did you say, why didn't you just tell those guys to shut up?
Oh,
I
was scared. Have you seen me? I'm flabby. I know of at least you have watching Fury Road. Was it 4 times now?
No, 3 times.
3 times?
I've seen it twice more on Blu-ray since it came out. I saw all of the Lord of the Rings 3 times at the movies.
That I wouldn't have picked up on. I wouldn't have picked you as somebody who did all that. I never even knew you were that big of a fan of Lord of the Rings.
Well, I was when they were coming out.
Nowadays, poo-poo. No,
Nowadays, I don't have 4 hours in a block that I can spend on watching a movie.
Mm-hmm.
An unfortunate fact of my advancing years.
Yes, or poor time management.
Bit of both.
Disney is also not remaking, I suppose it's remaking, the sequel to Alice in Wonderland, which is
Remaking the sequel?
Yeah.
Was there originally a sequel?
There's a book called Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a original movie.
That's when she gets fucked up on drugs, right?
Yeah. The first one is what? It's some sort of, she's on mushrooms, I think, in the first one. And on the second one, it's basically acid, But it was a very low budget sort of made for TV movie, the original sequel.
Like Ferngully 2.
Yes.
Right.
It's been rumoured of, but nobody's ever actually sat through the entire thing. And there's a whole bunch of them here. There's there's a new live-action Jungle Book coming out.
Oh, yeah, I knew about that one. Is there a sequel to The Lone Ranger? That wildly successful...
The wildly successful...
Jerry Bruckheimer movie.
Shockingly enough, no. Not on this list, anyway. The sequel to Finding Nemo's on here. There's a new Toy Story coming out. Various miscellaneous animated features.
Sequels and remakes and reboots.
Mm-hmm. There's this is one I'm actually excited about. There's a BFG movie coming out. You don't know what I'm talking about.
You mean the Roald Dahl book?
Roald Dahl book, yeah. Big friendly giant.
Between
the
that
big
and
fucking gun?
Yeah, the famous Doom weapon.
Famous Doom weapon. So they've already had a big fucking gun?
Yeah.
In the Doom movie. It was in the Doom movie.
Have you seen the Doom movie?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, good. Otherwise it was going to be your first review.
Yes, no, I haven't.
By the way, that movie is an unrecognised masterpiece.
It's not that good.
It's amazing. The first person scene, I was pissing myself laughing the entire way through.
I suppose so, yeah. But it was just a lot of very forced references, I guess.
Yeah. But it had The Rock in it. So
It did have The Rock in it, but Rock was, they just like, Rock is the Sarge,
Yeah.
the guy you play in the Doom movies.
Wasn't
in the Doom game.
Carl Urban the Doom Marine?
Yeah. But in the game, you're who the Rock is.
Are you?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm not up on all the
Oh,
Doom
jeez. All right, we're making an ass out of
Yeah.
ourselves here. Anyway, there's
All
a
those
bunch
Doom
of other
fans
ones,
are writing in
and I suggest that if you're interested in looking at what Godforsaken, Puff the Magic Dragon is getting a remake, and stuff like that.
You can check the link in the show notes.
Yes. There's a lot of garbage in there, but there's a lot of good stuff as well. Bunch of Marvel movies as well on the list. Yeah.
Gotta get those sequels.
Well, yes. There's like third Captain America is coming out, Civil War, which has got Spider-Man in it, I believe.
Yeah, I don't care about Spider-Man.
You shut your face. You leave Spider-Man out of this.
They need to get Magneto in these movies.
Magneto's not in these movies, in this universe.
They should get him in.
He's like, I suppose he's in the same universe. He's not in the same film franchise.
No, he's not, which is very disappointing. Because he's the best.
Alright, in the third X-Men movie, he's absolutely not the best.
Nothing is good about that movie.
The one thing about Magneto is that he's all about preserving mutants at the expense of humans.
Yeah.
And in the third movie, there's like a bunch of mutants, and they're storming a place.
Yeah. And
like Phoenix or whatever goes to like start fucking shit up, and he's like, no, let these pleb mutants go to their doom and death, while we stand here and I do nothing that I could be. No, thank you. That's not something Magneto would do. It's like, yes, let's kill all these weak-powered mutants. Kill themselves, storming the beach.
The only good bit about that movie is at the end when he wobbles the.
Wobbles the chest piece? He's like, oh, my powers are coming back.
Yeah. I was like, fuck yeah, Magneto, kill everybody.
Although he does make a very good Magneto, that guy.
Yes.
Ian Fleming? Am I right? What's his name?
Sir Ian McKellen.
Sir Ian McKellen, not Ian Fleming.
The author of James Bond.
Because I was watching fucking the Spectre trailer today, so no wonder it's in my brain.
Ian McKellen was in it.
Alright, so on that high note, maybe we should go over to our one and only segment, Forced Review. Forced Review. So Forced Review is what we're listening to, and, well, what I'll be listening to is a Forced Review. What you'll be talking about is a Forced Review. I'm not starting again. We're just going to roll with it.
We're just going to say Forced Review like 5 times.
Forced Review. Forced Review
What's
is...
What's that name? Forced Review.
Forced Review. Once again, Forced Review.
Yes.
The segment where one of us forces the other person to consume some form of media, and then that person has to review it whether they want to or not. Yes. Now, there are a few very simple rules in regards to Forced Review. I'm going to try and say Forced Review as many times as I can now.
Are you making a good fix of it?
In Forced Review, you have to give the other person something to review that you have consumed, and something that in Forced Review the other person has not consumed. Forced Review.
You're saying consumed a lot as well.
I'm really getting into the wheelhouse. Yeah. It has to be something reasonable that can be consumed within a week. See, I got another one in there. And it can't be something that they personally find objectionable to an extreme degree. Like if you're a Jew, I would not make you review like Hitler's War Diary or something like that.
Are you sure you don't want to start this
No.
again? Okay,
No, I'm not sure I don't want to.
Crash through.
I'm too far in. I'm in too deep. I'm in too deep. I've made a racial comment about Jewish people now. I've come too far. As an aside note, Allan actually loves Jewish people, so don't send in hate mail in regards to that.
Yes. But not to the
Okay,
exclusion of
should I
loving other people.
tell like my Jewish story?
Do you really want to?
It's nothing offensive.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
because
sure you can be the best judge of that.
clearly I'm a great
Not like
judge
the
in regards to
anti-defamation
what's
thing.
offensive and what's not in regards to my midget comments when we watched
Yeah.
Time Bandits. No, I was sitting there and I was watching TV or whatever, and it occurred to me that I'd never met a Jewish person in my life.
You probably have.
I probably have. Not like obviously Jewish, you know? Not wearing like the little hat
Right.
or anything
Not
like
with
that.
the ringlets.
The ringlets.
You haven't met a rabbi. Is what
I
you're saying.
haven't met a rabbi, is what I'm saying. But there isn't really a huge Jewish presence in Perth.
I mean,
You know.
there could be.
There could be. They're very secretive if there is.
I can't recall seeing a synagogue.
No, I haven't either. And I drive around a bunch of times,
Yeah.
the city and everywhere else. I've never seen
To loads
anything.
of religious centres.
There is. I see so many. I see a lot of Christian ones, obviously a lot of Protestant ones and stuff like that. I see a lot of temples.
Yeah, there's a lot
and
of
stuff
like Buddhist
that.
temples.
Buddhist
and stuff.
temples and like Muslim temples, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Never seen a synagogue. Nothing ever labelled as such. And so I was sitting there, I was like, I, in my life, have never formed like a strong opinion of Jewish people. I've never like gone, oh, I hate Jewish people, or oh, I really like Jewish people. So I just sat down and I thought about it, and I decided that I like Jewish people. I just sat down and I had like a conscious thought. It's like, I'm gonna like Jewish people.
Right.
Because I love the food. The food's delicious.
Do they have distinctive food?
They do. Have you eaten a bagel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bagels are delicious.
Bagels are delicious.
Yeah.
And, like, so much of the comedy I've enjoyed throughout my life has been written by Jewish people.
Well, like Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld, for example, very famous Jewish person. Persian. So I just was like, I'm gonna like Jews.
Well, that's probably a good attitude to have.
Yeah, so that's my Jewish story.
Well, another good attitude to have is to not take people as groups and decide whether you like
Racial
them or
stereotype.
not. On the whole,
It's like,
take
I'm
people
going
as
to just
individuals.
take this entire group of people and form an opinion about them.
Yeah.
One way or the other is probably not the best thing
Yeah.
to do. But that's what I did.
Right.
And I've stuck by it ever
Okay.
since.
This is Racial Politics 101 with Allan.
How to ensure that you never rise to a place of political power with Allan.
Yeah.
All right, so now that I've derailed us thoroughly for a couple of minutes now,
What segment are we doing again?
Forced Review.
Yeah, right.
And you are reviewing one of my favourite games from the Xbox, Beyond Good and Evil.
Is this a review by my own choice, or is it a...
It is a review that has been forced upon
Okay.
you. Anyway, it's great. It's one of the best games
Well,
I've
there
ever
you go.
played
Review over.
on the Xbox
You heard it
from
here
back
first.
in the day. And you are going to review it. Because I
This is
made you do so.
Original Xbox, is that right?
Original Xbox, yes.
Yes. It is a game by Ubisoft. They of the template games out these days, where they all fall into the Assassin's Creed model with just different coats of paint. But back in the day, they apparently had creative people working for them.
They did, yes. It's a very unique game.
Yes. Beyond Good and Evil, I've been playing the PC port on Steam.
Not the best of ports, I will admit that.
Yeah, well, I'll get into that.
All right.
In the game, you play as a lady named Jade, who is a wildlife photographer.
I suppose her main job would be lighthouse keeper /
Photojournalist.
No, well, I wouldn't say photojournalist. She's more of a orphanarium. I don't know,
Yeah, she
matron.
does. She rewinding. There is a war going on the planet of Hillis, where Jade
Yes.
lives. She lives with a big fat pig, and the two
What's
of
his
them.
name?
His name's Paige. There's another significant problem I had with the game is the spelling of his name. You can look it up. The two of them take care of his children orphaned by the war.
Otherwise known as war orphans.
Warphans.
Warphans.
They like to be
Yep. Which is tiny wharfs from
Exactly.
It's set in space, so
Yeah.
of course.
There is an alien species invading the planet, and the armed forces called the name escapes me, purport to be protecting the civilians of the planet, but from how they've been acting early in the game and people's responses to them, it seems like they're probably going to be bad guys.
Is at this point we should probably mention that Russell didn't finish the game.
No, I got through... I tried to play it in 3 different sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And
20-minute sessions apiece, by the sounds of it.
And I played a few hours overall.
Alright. Well, that's reasonable. That's about the amount that I played of Baldur's Gate 2.
Yes. I feel that I played enough to...
get a grip on the controls.
And first the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a great PlayStation and Xbox game, and I would really like to play it further on a system more suited to it. The character design and the art's all really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Jade seems like a cool character, and there's these Jamaican rhinos who fix up your hovercraft.
It's just
great.
Very amusing, yes.
And there's a hologram dude who lives in your iPad.
It's your pouch, sort of. Your storage system.
Yeah. I forget his name.
He digitizes things.
Yeah. He's cool too.
Very great, good... I feel like they had a lot of very good character design.
Yeah.
In this game.
And one of the side objectives is to get the currency in the game, you take photos of the wildlife scattered around, who can be non-black characters or just, birds and fish jumping around in the background. And you get money for doing that. And you have a little camera interface in the game, and you can look around and zoom in, and it's all
I think you take pictures, sets of 10, I believe, of creatures.
Yeah.
And then you send that off, and at the beginning it just gives you credits, but then you get upgrades for the camera and stuff like that, and then you get pearls, which are one of the main forms of currency in the game.
If this was a mobile game, pearls would be the real money currency, because that's how you get all the good shit.
It is, yes.
So I really enjoyed that photography part of the game.
Yep, you spent I think I saw you pop in and start playing it, and then in 10 minutes after you started playing, I was like, you get to take pictures of animals in this game? Yeah.
Game of the year. Yeah, that was really good. I really liked the art, as I said. It seems like the plot could be cool if there is a...
overarching plot?
Yeah, well, I assume there is.
There is, yeah.
You get to hang out with gangsters, and there may be some sort of fascist organisation running the government, and maybe the aliens aren't all bad. I mean, they probably are. They seem pretty bad.
There's probably, yeah.
But maybe they're good guys. Or perhaps just not all they seem.
I suppose maybe it was not a great game to force you to review in a week, because the whole main reason why it is such a great game is the plot.
Right.
It's not like I'm asking you to review FPS.
Yeah.
Where you can play 2 hours of it and get a really good handle on the game, or finish the campaign.
Likewise, Baldur's Gate 2 with a 50-odd hour campaign.
Yeah, I don't think that Beyond Good and Evil really compares in regards to campaign length.
Yes. Anyway, as much as I'd like to continue playing the game, I don't think I will in its current state, because the PC port is kind of a disaster area.
It isn't the best. Yes. You did make classic error of having the mouse movement and the A and D buttons both move the camera.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which made you you didn't rebind the A and D to strafing left and right, which is what I did.
Which probably would have solved a lot of problems, but
yes.
I gave myself
and you got to sort of tweak
eye strain and a headache by trying to turn 2 different ways at the same time.
You gotta it's a game, it's one of those ports where you need to sort of fool the game into playing properly.
Yeah.
Everybody who starts that game up has some sort of graphical glitches come up that you gotta fix the errors of and make it run properly.
It was from an era in PC gaming where it was really almost dark days. The consoles, the PlayStation 2 was ruling the gaming landscape, and PC ports were just kind of an afterthought that they got the new guy to do. To
this day, I am very upset that Crackdown doesn't have PC ports.
Doesn't it?
No. Not to my knowledge. Definitely not on Steam.
Is it a Microsoft game?
I don't think so. I don't think it ever got a PC port.
Anyway.
Man, I love Crackdown.
So unfortunately the controls are too much of a pain in the ass.
I feel like you would be able to manage if you figured out the camera issue.
Maybe.
Yeah. For some reason they didn't make it controller compatible. for something that
which is
came
really
from a console game.
Yeah.
And which is owned by Microsoft.
I mean, they didn't have Xbox 360 controllers at that time, but
I don't even know when the PC port was made.
No, neither do I. But it does go like to HD. So it may have been after the HD re-release.
It must have been, yeah.
Anyway, hopefully at some point it'll get updated for PlayStation 4 and I can give it a crack on there.
Very much doubt it, but we can live the dream.
We can live the dream. And there's always hope of a sequel. Even though
it was in development, yes.
Yeah, even though Ubisoft deny all knowledge of it. Since they only produce Assassin's Creed and Far Cry games.
Cookie cutout games these days, yes. Yeah, that was one of the real disappointments, was that it was one of like their last hurrahs into like unique storytelling and game styles, and it has like 3 different aspects in that game. You've got like the photography aspect, where you explore the map and you find like all these creatures, and half the reason why you go into like caves and bad places and whatnot is to look for the little creatures. To look for animals to take pictures of and stuff like that, to release for like the news and stuff like that, which gets you in contract with the local resistance to the aliens and the government and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there's also like a racing aspect to it.
See, the vehicle bit I did not like.
Well, the vehicle bit probably wasn't too easy to control.
Yeah, it may have been better with a controller.
Yeah, even if you just modified it so the mouse is the only thing that moved the camera, which is what I did, because I'm not a pleb. Anyway, there's a whole racing aspect in it as well, where you race to get pearls and stuff like that. And then there's mini games within the game to get pearls and stuff like that. And then there's like side-scrolling sort of aspects as well, where you're trying to maneuver through like all these laser traps and stuff to get through like government lockdowns. And then there's like fighting games and puzzle solving.
Sounds a bit like Final Fantasy VII, which
sort of kind of
main like RPG plot had like 6 different mini games.
I guess so. In Beyond Good and Evil, they're not that separate. They're all sort of tied in. Like you need a certain amount of pearls to buy an upgrade to your vehicle that the Jamaican rhinos will only sell for a certain amount.
Actually, I did notice in the store that there's like a space engine or something.
There is a space engine, yeah.
Costs 40 pearls.
Uh-huh.
I want to go to space.
Yeah, and in space, there's like a big space battle going on.
What?
Yeah. And it's all like, well, we're getting into spoiler territory here. But you go into space, and it's amazing.
It sounds amazing.
And then you're in like an alien space station is the final area you go into. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's maybe something we'll have to wait for in the future.
Yes, we live in hope.
Yes. Or you could just try and modify the controls.
I could, but life's too short.
And your poor time management skills aside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the constant demand for new content for the podcast.
That's true, yes. Life is tough.
It is.
Okay, so how many hovercrafts, poorly controlled hovercrafts out of 10? I
would give it... Actually, no, I'm not gonna score it.
You're gonna score it?
No, I feel like the controllers
really let you down?
Yeah, and I don't think it's fair to rate the game based on this version of it.
So we're gonna have like a what would be a good way? A TBA? A TBA review?
Yeah, basically.
Well, I will review it 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because I finished the game and I played it on the original Xbox. And I played the PC release as well.
Yes.
No. It's very close to 10. I'd give it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10.
8's not that close to 10. There's a big gap between 8 and 10.
Well, I suppose the difficulty in dealing with like a 10-point system is that 1 point is such a huge deal.
It is. Especially when most game reviewers only go down to like 6. And anything below 6 is just the worst shit you've ever seen.
Well, I feel like it's one of my most favourite games. Yeah. How about that? But that's all we got the time for this week. You should go to our website, which is popculturepont.weebly.com. That'll have the show notes and reviews and all other sorts of stuff that Russell's going to write and put up there.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's really looking forward to doing.
I am. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can hit us up on social media.
Yes.
Services such as Facebook, where we're at facebook.com/popculturepon.
Mm-hmm.
And on Twitter @popculturepon.
Yes. Russell is our community manager by the way. So
Freshly nominated.
Freshly nominated today, because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So rush off over there and ask Russell personal questions about his life. He's a very open person. He'll tell you anything.
Sure. Or I'll make something up.
Or you'll make something up. But they won't know the difference.
Truth or fiction,
Oh.
you decide.
It's like at end of every tweet, you're just like, T or F?
Yeah.
Truth or fiction? Question mark.
Yeah.
Which is really going to limit you with the 42 characters that you're given. Is it 40 characters? I don't know how Twitter works.
You get 140 characters.
Is it 140? I was going to say
Actually,
40 seems really low.
I tweeted something at you a while ago and you didn't reply, so I don't know if you got it or not.
Yeah, I don't check Twitter that often.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, join us again next...
Hey, what the hell are you doing? That's my line.
Whoa, okay. Are you going to steal my bit about explosion popcorn?
Explosion?
Explosion popcorn?
Sorry, I got really aggressive there for some reason.
You did. Get the fuck off my
Whoa!
turf.
Step off, bitch!
Yeah.
Now I can't.
Own this.
Now you have to say it. I can't come in and say it now
No,
because
go
I've
for
made
it.
such a huge deal
No,
about it.
yours.
Oh, jeez. So, shut up, Russell. I got so aggressive, but I don't know why. Alright, well, come on back next week for another episode of Popculture Pontification. You'll take it and you'll like it.